Welcome back to Grief Inspired. My name is Catherine McNulty, and I'm so glad that you found my Grief Inspired channel here. Now, what I do is I create videos that are going to help move you through your grief process. I want to help you do it a little bit more quickly, maybe make the process a little bit easier. And as always, I want to remind you that you do not have to do grief alone. You know, so many people are grieving alone and they're suffering in silence, and it's harder than it needs to be. So I'm so glad that you're here. And today I want to ask you a very serious question is, do you believe that you deserve to suffer? I want you to think on this, and I want you to think on it hard and come up with an answer. And for those of you who are stuck in guilt, riddled by guilt, do you deserve to suffer? That's my question for you. And you know, Earl Grollman, who is one of my most favorite people who have written books on grief, he reminds us that grief is the price we pay for love. And so if you love someone, yes, you are going to feel grief. And the more you love that person, the more you are going to grieve. And so please remember that the amount that you're suffering, the amount of pain that you feel is a direct result of how much love that you carry in your heart for that person. And I want to challenge you and say that, do you deserve to suffer really? I mean, suffering, yes, is the price that we pay for love. But does suffering have to be bad? Yes, suffering is hard. Grieving is hard. It overwhelms us. It takes over our entire lives. It affects our hearts, our minds, our mental ability, all of it. It makes us question our spirituality. All of it happens as you're grieving. But is suffering all bad? That's the question I have, is what if we could just say, yes, we have to go through this process. Yes, I'm suffering right now. I'm feeling pain, but I'm growing through it. I'm learning through it, and I'm going to get through this. And the pain that I feel is because I loved so hard and so much. And can we hang on to that? So I don't want you to suffer any more than you have to. So that's why I do these videos and hope that they'll help and get you unstuck. And keep you moving forward. And I try to give you glimmers of hope, because I remember so early on that I didn't know that I could ever be happy again after I lost my son. I just thought it was over. I thought that I was just going to be miserable for the rest of my life, that I was, dealt a crappy hand, and I just had to deal with that. And my life now is dramatically different. And I know what it means to be joyful, and I know what it means to grieve. And I know the importance of how grief relates to the amount of love that we have in our heart. So do you deserve to suffer? I don't think so. Don't beat yourself up any more than you already have. And again, I am just about to hit 400 subscribers on this channel, and I want to thank each and every one of you who watches these videos, who has subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, because that'll help me get to 400. But I want to continue to serve, and so I have a question for you: is what else do you need? Are there videos or questions that you have that I could pose to, that I could create videos for? Do you need a journal or a workbook to have something physical and tangible in your hands? Do you need a collective group call so that you can be on the phone with other people or on a Zoom call? What about a monthly workshop? Do you need to, go more in depth into different topics, right? Do we need to dive into guilt? Do we need to dive into anger and see what we should really do about these things? Do you need one-on-one access to be able to talk to me and ask me the questions that you have? Or do you need a place where you can put questions and get answers to those questions? I'm reaching out because I want to know. I want to do more. I am blown away by all the comments. I got a comment this week that said, please don't ever delete these videos. I will not do that. I make these videos so that you guys can come back to them as many times as you need to. But I want to do more. I want to serve more, and I want to be able to help you. So I want to make sure that whatever it is that I do, whatever it is I create, is something that's very useful and meaningful. So I'm asking you for your feedback, for your thoughts, for your comments around, just to take a minute and say, what would really help you? What would help you today move through your grief more quickly? What would make your grieving a little bit more easy? What do you need? And, there's so many people who they choose not to reach out and get support of any kind, and they just go it on their own. And that's certainly one way to do it, but it's not one that I recommend. So I think that when you can get with anyone else, whether you're watching these videos and you're just watching them from at home, or you're on a call with me, or you're doing some work in a journal, or, all the other types of things that I share on these videos, does that help? Does that help you? What is going to help you? That's what I want you to comment and let me know about. And I will do my best to make sure that I am creating and serving in a place that's really, really useful for each and every one of you. So thank you again for liking these videos, for subscribing to them. I so very appreciate it. Consider sharing them out with other people that you know who might be grieving as well. And as always, I am here to make sure that you are not grieving alone. So do you deserve to suffer? I say hell no. Will you suffer? Yes. Yes. But let's get through it together.